morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning, good morning. Lovely to see some familiar names and a couple of familiar faces coming through. Oh, Charlotte, nice hair. Very nice. Hello, everybody. Lovely to see you. Good morning. Hope you're all well. Just letting a few more people in the room, and we probably will do so just for the next couple of minutes of us connecting together. As always, if you can keep yourselves on mute throughout the webinar. I have my colleague, who I'm sure you're aware of, Cara, our operations manager, with me today. My name is Sam. And then we have Jenny and we have Abby in our chat as well. So if you do have any questions throughout this session, please feel free to use the chat box. If you can keep yourselves on mute, I'd really appreciate it. It just stops any background noise coming through. If you can pop your cameras on, lovely. We will recognise some of you, I'm sure, from our education sessions that we have with you online with our team. Right, let's get started. So this is SalonIQ's next episode of the Business Collective, collaborated with our fantastic business partners. And we're looking at Align, Grow and Thrive on this workshop. Feel free to follow along if you want to on SalonIQ. Take notes, take screenshots and pictures if you want to. There'll be a lot to take from this session. So what will we be covering today? We're going to be looking at getting clients booked in advance. We've got our silly season coming up. Really busy time of the year. So we need to look at how we can get our clients booked in advance, drive that rebooking percentage. And ultimately, we're all wanting to achieve something through our busy times. So we need to make sure we're motivating our team with the KPIs or targets that we set them. Okay, so let's get started. So let's get looking at booking clients in advance. So your future appointments or your future business. It's not only important to have clients booked in advance now, but also throughout the rest of the year. So what are you doing right now to avoid downtime for your team? Really good question to ask yourself. So if you know your team members have got a quiet time, maybe next Tuesday or next Wednesday, what are you doing right now to change that? What are they doing to change that? Are they aware of that? Are they looking in advance, 5 or 7 weeks ahead, to see if they're busy or if they're quiet, and what can they do? How are you ensuring you have little white space throughout October, November and December? What did you do last year? What worked? What didn't work? And what processes do you have in place right now to ensure your salon clients are rebooking their next appointment? Do you have role plays with your team in team meetings to make sure that they're going about the rebooking the right way and prompting their clients in the right way? So looking at the rebooking percentage, what should it be? What should our rebooking percentage be? It's going to be different for everyone, depending on how long the team member's been with you, depending on their experience. So we need to be looking for at least 50% for new team members. Any new team member joining you should have a rebooking percentage of 50% from day one. Educate your team to educate your clients. Your clients need to be advised on when they need to book in. Trust and loyalty is built over time with your team and their clients. If you tell Mrs. Smith she needs to come in 8 weeks' time to maintain her colour, then she'll be in 8 weeks' time to maintain her colour. If you're not asking her to rebook and telling her when to rebook, then she probably won't. So it's really about informing and educating your team. Next one, Cara. Lovely, thank you. So your rebooking percentage should be, just back one. I can't speak that quick. Lovely, thank you. The rebooking percentage should be around 80% for experienced stylists. If you've got stylists or therapists that have been with you for some time now, they've got a loyal client base, you should be seeing their rebooking percentage to be 80%. And that's all the time throughout the year, not just over the next 3 months. If you have a low rebooking percentage, you'll always find yourself chasing clients and sending numerous campaigns to book. And you don't want to be in that vicious circle. If you're getting that rebooking percentage in, then you're reducing the amount of campaigns you're sending out. And each team member will more than likely have a different rebooking percentage. So if you're having a one-to-one with Karen and her rebooking percentage is 70%, it doesn't mean that all of your team members are going to be 70%, because if someone's sitting at 20%, getting to 70 will seem impossible. So give them small milestones to get to that higher target that you want them to achieve in 3 to 6 months' time. So really look at each individual one on a one-to-one basis and then set it from there. Let's look at the average. So we've looked at this from January to July, end of July 2024. So hair salons at the moment have an average rebooking percentage of 47%. Less than half are rebooking. Beauty salons, 40% rebooking percentage at the moment for the UK average. And then our barbers is at 18%. So they are quite low, but we can definitely, and we usually, as a trend, as a pattern, when we look at September, October, November on the run up to Christmas, we usually see those increase. If you remember, what you focus on grows. If you're focusing on that rebooking percentage, ensuring your clients are rebooking, then that will increase. That definitely will increase. And we can share the statistics again over the next few months when we work through them. Right, we've got some top performing rebooking salons that are using SalonIQ. We've got Charlie Miller with 73% at the moment. Barry Stevens of the same, 73%. And then we've got a Salon in Francesco group at 86%. So it is possible. And this is just a couple that we picked at random. It definitely is possible to have that. What is yours right now? Cara will show us in a minute how we can access that for our team and for our salon. But what is your rebooking percentage? What was it last month and what is it right now for September? And what was it last year? So what are the benefits for your clients to rebook? So we've looked at the salon, how it benefits the salon, how it benefits the team, but how does it benefit your clients? Your clients get the time and day that they want. Their preferred stylist is likely to be available. They avoid being on the wait list. They might get some priority booking incentives. Any skin test or processes have time to be actioned. It's not all being done last minute or they're being turned away because they haven't had a skin test. And it strengthens the relationship with the stylist or the therapist. And overall, it improves the client experience and encourages client loyalty. It makes them aware that you know what they're about, you know when their colour needs to come in, you know when their next facial or massage needs to be booked in, you know their routine. It really strengthens and builds that relationship. And it will stop you having to decline any appointments or squeezing them in and then having to rush the appointment. How can we increase our rebooking percentage? So make sure you're monitoring this KPI correctly in SalonIQ, and Cara will show you that in a minute, as I just said. Use the transient client toggle. Cara, another one we must go through. The transient client toggle in SalonIQ will ensure that it excludes any clients from your rebooking percentage that are just visiting in the area. So you don't want someone that's just coming into your salon for a wedding appointment, because if you include them, it's not a true indication that they're going to return. So you'd mark them as a transient client because you know they're not going to come back because they're not local. Have the rebook prompt in SalonIQ after your clients check out. So it's helping your front of house and receptionist team. Ensure your team are aware of their rebooking target and they know how to monitor it properly every day, every week, and every month. And role play the great goodbye with your team to ensure they prompt the clients to rebook effectively. What is the great goodbye? So let's just look at that, Cara, on the next slide. So approaching a client to rebook and what to say. A lot of the time for stylists and therapists, they're a bit nervous, they're a bit unsure, they don't know how to approach the conversation to rebook their next appointment. And it's about educating your team on the importance of it as well. Ensure your team are prepped before they start the great goodbye with each client. What should they be doing and what should they be looking for? How often does their client come in? They need to look at this information before the client is leaving to pay their bill. What day do they prefer to come in on? And how often do they usually come in on? They can do all of this. You can print off a nice day sheet or the traffic light report on SalonIQ. I can see I've got 5 clients coming in. And before my day even starts, I'm going to check to see when each of these clients usually come in, how often they usually come in. And I'm going to have those dates ready. So I know that in 8 weeks' time, Mrs. Smith is going to be coming in on this date. Mrs. Jones will be coming in on the Thursday at 2 o'clock. And I know that Mrs. Potter needs to come in on a Saturday at 8 a.m., usually around Christmas. I know how they work. So I'm going to make sure that all of that is ready before I have that great goodbye with them. A little bit of a role play. So, Mrs. Jones, I know you like to come in every 8 weeks. This takes us up to Wednesday, the 18th of October. I've got one appointment left at 2 o'clock if you prefer this time. You prefer this time, don't you?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, great. Let's get that booked in now for you. I've got the date. I'm saying there's one appointment left. I'm creating urgency. And I know she prefers to come at 2 o'clock. I've got that all. I'm assuming she wants to come in. I'm not saying, do you want to book your next appointment? Oh, no, I'll wait. I'll phone later. And then you end up chasing. You have to send a campaign. They don't come in. You've got loads of white space. Get that date, get that time, create some urgency. I've got one appointment left at this time. I've got another appointment left in the morning at 10 o'clock. And they'll book it. Another role play here. Hazel, I've loved doing your colour today. You look stunning. Now remember, your colour's going to expire in 10 weeks' time. So we'll need to get you booked in to have the highlights done and a little touch up around the hairline.
And the client will say, okay, yes, that's fine.
Great. Well, let's get you booked in 1st of November. Does that work for you? I think we prefer about 10:30, don't you, on that day? And they'll go, yeah, I do. Great. Well, let's get you booked in. I'll pop a confirmation text over to you very shortly. You've got all the information there. You're preempting the client. You're not saying, okay, yeah, next appointment now. You can phone if you want to. Let's get all that information prepped before we start that conversation to rebook. And they will rebook. It does work. And it's a great way there. Your colour will expire in 10 weeks' time. Sounds nice. It sounds good. It's a better way to approach it. Right. So when I was a stylist many moons ago now, and about this time of year, I'd always have my clients booking in their next 2 or 3 appointments all the way up to Christmas. And I'll start that now. Sometimes even earlier. And all of us at the salon at Great Hairdressing, that's our salon in Tunbridge Wells that we have with SalonIQ. All of the team there, they've been at the salon now over 10 years. So we have all of our clients booking in their next 2 or 3 appointments, their colours, cuts, nail appointments. You know, to avoid disappointment, we know you like to have this time, get booked in now. We create that urgency and we're pretty much fully booked now all the way up to Christmas. It's fantastic. We have a couple of new team members to take those new clients, to take those last minute bookings. We adjust the rosters very slightly. We look back last year to see where our most popular times and days were. And we adjusted the team rosters very slightly to make sure we could accommodate the really busy periods. And then when we look back, we looked at the quieter days and times, and we made sure we had less team members there. And then more team members that were working at the time that we were really busy. So then we could accommodate all our rig bookings, all our regular clients, and then look after any new clients that were coming through. Have a look in your diary now. And to get your team on board with this, speak to your team about it and get the next 2 or 3 booked in. It's crucial to do. You can always change them. They can always phone up 48 hours notice, which is your policy, if that's your policy, and get it changed. It's absolutely fine to do that. So looking at KPIs, what are KPIs and how can they help? What are they? So a KPI, are key performance indicators, and there are targets ultimately. Next slide, Cara. Lovely. So they're here to monitor the progress and performance of many, many areas of our business, not just one and not just rebookings. They can look at the overall progress of our business and they improve our decision making. Our webinar that we did before, I'm not sure it was a Salon Business Collective one, but it was one of SalonIQ's webinars talking about data and improving our decision making by looking at the data. So we get these gut feelings of something's not quite right. But when we're looking at data, when we're looking at KPIs, it gives us that reassurance that if we do need to make a change in our business with our business or our team, then we can do so by looking at these KPIs. It helps us focus on what matters. It helps us identify new weaknesses as well as strengths. And then it helps us then grow and moving forward. So monitoring your team's KPIs. As a general rule, numbers don't motivate us. I'm sure you'll agree. We're all very, very creative people in this room. Looking at a grid of numbers, you just think, what am I looking at? And if I understand those figures, what do I actually do with them? And quite often, your team are the same. If they don't understand something, they'll move away from it. They'll shy away and they'll just ignore it and blank it. And then they won't achieve what you're wanting them to achieve. But they can be fun. We can make them fun. And we've said it before that you should really only be focusing on 3 to 5 KPIs at any one time. There are 25 plus on the salon dashboard that Cara will show you. And you'll be gearing up. Maybe you've had a coaching session or you've been on a webinar. Yeah, we can do this. We can do that with this one. Look at our average bill. Look at our frequency, client retention. If you give that to your team, they'll go, oh my goodness, please just stop. And you'll have no growth or performance anywhere. Just focus on 3 to 5. Even just 2 for some of them will work better. So you see some growth and you see some change and difference. And create an incentive. And each of your incentives will be different for your team. A goal without a plan is just a wish. By regularly monitoring your KPIs, you can ensure that your salon business stays on course to achieve its goals, adapt to change, and continuously improve performance for you, your salon, and your team. Okay, next slide. So how can they be fun? So just focus on 3 to 5. Get your team involved in the next weekly team meeting. Show them the KPI. Share it with them. Don't be shy. Don't hide away from them. You know, it's important that your team are aware. You know, it's okay to be transparent. Quite often we can hide away. from what's happening with the salon and team performance, but share it with them. And they can be different, and create incentives. So when you have your next one-to-one, if you hadn't have a one-to-one already with your team for Christmas, then have a one-to-one with them now and share with them where you are, where you'd like them to be, if they believe they feel they can get there, and what incentive would they like. Some of them are monetary incentives. Some of them would prefer gifts. Some of them might have family and lots of commitments at home, so might prefer the time back. Each incentive will be different for each individual. And if you don't know what your incentives and what motivates your team, have a one-to-one with them and find out. And then you'll start to see that performance coming through for you as well. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at, we get asked a lot, Cara, don't we? I know you're going to be going through this. We get asked an awful lot, well, what should I be focusing on? What do I need to be looking at? What should my average bill be? It's different for everybody, but we do have a top 5 that we feel make a big difference in your business. They don't have to be your top 5, but we feel these 5 are one of the 5 important ones.
Yeah, these are the very basic ones that we tend to go through with each business, whether it's hair, beauty, barbers. Everybody wants to work on the average bill, the average frequency. So how often are your clients coming in? You're rebooking, client retention, so you're retaining those clients and new clients as well. So breaking it down, an average bill, we can upsell some treatments, we can add on some extra services, and then you can add on retail as well. So that's all going to affect your average bill. So looking at that and seeing it increase in that going up.
Yeah, quite often, an average bill, your team might think, oh, I can't increase my average bill anymore, I'm fully booked. But actually, look at their column now. They can still upsell and increase their average bill just with a full column, as Cara said, by adding an Olaplex, by adding a file and polish. There's so many ways in which they can still upsell their average, increase their average bill by upselling their services or cross-selling other services as well.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to necessarily be with that particular team member. If you're doing hair and beauty, you can, as you've got your colour on, you can get your nails done at the same time. So there's always a way to increase your average bill, and then obviously the retail side on top of that as well, once you've completed your service. Then you've got your average frequency. So we want to make sure that we're introducing express services. So things like a refresh balayage. We have clients that are coming in for a refresh toner, or we have people who have an extra blow dry in between their appointments. So it doesn't have to be that they're having the same appointment every time that they're coming into the salon. So offering those express services, on the go services as well, and sharing your service menu with your clients so many times that a client will go, I actually didn't know you did though. I didn't realize that you did gel nails. I didn't realize that you did eyebrow tints. So making sure that your clients have got access to your menu and they can see all of the different options that you offer in your business. I think that's really important. And it's such a small thing that nobody really ever notices, that they go, do you know all of the services that we have for you? The next one is your rebooking. So as Sam went through before, is pre-plan when your client needs to come back in for their appointment. So Sam's coming into my salon today. I know she's got blonde hair. We usually advise 4 to 5 weeks. I've got that in the back of my head already. I know that's going to be around the 20th of October, so that it's pre-planning that before I go to the checkout screen to make it easier, and it flows so much easier. Right, Sam, we recommend you come in 4 to 5 weeks. It's looking around the 20th of October, so having that in your head before you get to the checkout screen. And if you've got a front of house, then print the day sheet. You can write all of this on the day sheet, so that when you're passing that over to your front of house team, that they also know that is when you're expecting Sam to rebook their appointment. Rebooking for other services, bring out an incentive. So we do have a couple of salons now who are doing a rebooking incentive, and it doesn't always have to be about, I'm going to give them a discount, I'm going to give you 10% off. But think of something, if you rebook within a 6-week period, we'll give you priority booking. You'll get the first appointments at Christmas. We'll give you these little miniature products. So just thinking about a rebooking incentive, why should your clients book before? Why should they be booking now? And giving them that incentive. And then also don't forget that rebooking is within 24 hours. So a question we do get quite often is, if the client leaves and they book online, will that be classed as a rebooking? And yes, it will, as long as they book within 24 hours. So if you do get that person who's like, oh, I'd rather book online, I need to check my diary, then no problem, they can do that within a 24-hour period. Then you've got your client retention, which everyone needs to be working on. So, do you know what your client retention is? I'll be showing you shortly in SalonIQ where you can find out your client retention. How are you retaining your clients? Again, have you got your email set up? Do you have your reminders in there? Again, just having a retention email doesn't mean that you're contacting the clients, offering them discount to rebook, but are you sending a reminder 12 weeks before their appointment? So are you sending a reminder to say, it's been 12 weeks since your last appointment, please click here to book online. And I think a lot of people get frightened thinking it's discount when you don't need to discount.
Not at all. It's often just a reminder. We can really quite often focus on getting new clients, which is crucial. New clients into your business is crucial for salon growth. But are you retaining the clients that you've got coming in or that you haven't seen in a while? I remember when I was, again, working in the salon a few years ago now, there were clients I thought, oh yeah, all my clients are coming in. Cara will show us in a minute how we can see our lost clients. You go, oh my goodness, I completely forgot about this lady. Where is she? Why haven't I seen her in so long? Having a look at, having a retention program in place, having something like that within your software system that's already doing that for you in the background means that you don't have to focus on it all the time. Get it set up, ensure that your retention program is what you want it to be, that it suits your business, but then let that run in the background so you're not having to focus on retaining your clients. As long as your team are doing their jobs correctly and following your systems, have your salon software do this for you automatically running in the background. Cara, can we have a look at that if we get time? Sorry, I know everybody's trying. If we can look at the guest retention program just before, if we get time, sorry.
We will. So the last one, you've got your new clients. So you aim for a minimum of 10% of new clients each week. Anything lower than that, then your salon is going to struggle to grow. So that's what we usually advise to aim for. What is your new client welcome? How do you welcome the client? Are they getting a welcome email? So I can see some salons do a welcome pack, which I think is brilliant. You're a new client of ours. This is our welcome pack. These are the services that we offer, and this is how to maintain your hair or your treatment. And is everyone aware? Do your team understand it? Are they following these things? Are they going through and they know when a client comes in, we're offering them tea and coffee? It's the small things that we're offering these new clients that will make them recur and come back into your salon. And how are you attracting new clients? Do you have anything on social media? Are you doing a referral scheme? Do you have a refer a friend scheme? And I think this is the biggest thing, because the people who are going to shout about your salon are your clients, are your regulars. Like we get at SalonIQ. So we get our salons and they recommend other salons to us. And it's the people who are coming into your salon week in, week out. They're the people who are going to recommend you to their friends and family. Okay, so monitoring KPIs on SalonIQ, where is best to look for it? Where's your team performance? So I'm going to go through on the system now to show you where you can find this information. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to go through the team KPIs. So you can set up team KPIs, but you can also set up salon KPIs. And to set up a team KPI, we're going on to the settings option here. We're going to team members, and we're just going to go onto our team member list. And you can do individual KPIs different for each individual team member. So I'm just going to load up Chelsea here. And on the left-hand side, we've got KPIs. And we've got On the left, we've got your service target, your retail target, and on the right, we've got the minimum target. So in here, I want Chelsea's service target to be 1,067, but her absolute minimum is 600. And that is what she should be bringing in to make sure that the cash flow is going in there and I can physically afford to pay her wages. And there's different KPIs in here. So you've got care factor, you've got your rebooking, you've got your client count. And as we say, don't fill them all in because it's really, really overwhelming to give them all of these KPIs, because as a team member myself, I wouldn't know which one to focus on. So I think you need to find out, what does Chelsea need to work on? Let's choose 3 and we'll pop them in here. Once you've done that, then Chelsea will be able to see her own KPIs from her dashboard. So for the team member, they would just click on their name here, and they can do this from their mobile phone as well. And they would just go to show my dashboard. And you can filter for weekly, you can filter monthly, and you can go back to the week prior. And you can see in here on the top left-hand side, when somebody hits a KPI, they get a star. So as an example here, we can see the care factors being hit. She's gone over the 10%, she's smashed the 25% as well, and she's got a star. And what you'll find within the salon is the team members start getting this real healthy competition. So, I mean, I'm quite competitive anyway. Aren't I, Sam? I'm probably the most competitive person. I always want to be the best. And it starts as healthy competition. So you'll see the team members talking, oh, how many stars have you got this week? I've got 3. Well, I've got 4. And it's that healthy competition that drives them and makes them want to do even better. And it makes them push more because it's really understandable. So I can see here, the services I've got so far is 605. My minimum is 600 and my max is 1,067. And you'll see the graph move as the week goes along.
The one thing I like about this is that it's visual. So you're not just looking, as I said before, looking at a grid of numbers can be really demotivating. You just don't know what you're looking at. But having the visual, having the bars, you can see your progress bar, you can see where your first target is, your second target is. Having the stars, and Cara will show us the flags, just makes it a bit more fun and creative. And then we're more likely to absorb and take in what we're looking at.
Yeah, exactly. And you can do exactly the same thing for the salon. So again, a question that comes up quite often is, I've got front of house people now, and front of house, they are practically the management. They are living, breathing inside the salon. But you want to also give them some KPIs and get them to push the team. And you can actually do that in your salon settings. So if we go to settings and then to salons, the exact same thing applies. So even though I've not got a column, I can do targets for the salon. So we can do the takings target. This is what I expect to bring in every week. Services, retail. You might want to just say front of house, I want you to work on the rebooking target, because they're the ones, they're the face, they're taking the payments at the end of the service. And you can find all of this on the dashboard. So on the menu button, you've got your dashboard, you've got your salon dashboard, which will show the salon as a whole, and it'll show you all the KPIs on here. And then you've also got the team dashboard. So if I just click on the team dashboard here, again, in the top right-hand side, you can run it bi-weekly, you can 4-weekly, monthly. And then don't forget, you've got the 3 little dots, top right-hand side, and you can add and remove what you want to see on this dashboard. So I'm just going to add a few things that I think that we want to have a look at. Stars and flags is a big one for me, rebookings, and I'm working on retail. So I can filter this for what I want it to see. And you can see here, flags and stars. So at the beginning of the week, you will always have flags for every KPI because you've not physically taken any money yet. But as the week goes on, those flags should get less and less. And a flag is to show that Shannon is not hitting her minimum target. So she's not hitting her retail and she's not hitting her client count. And it's just a great way to go, right, we're halfway through the week. What can we do? How can we help Shannon? You know, Shannon, what can we do to get your retail up this week? So it's nice and visual. But then on the opposite scale, you can see the stars, and the stars are showing you that Shannon is hitting the rebooking rates and they're hitting the total services. And you can use this at the end of the week, at the end of the year, and you can do your own awards at the end of the year to say top selling person at services was Shannon, top selling person for retail was Tallulah. And it's just a great way to be able to visually see how your team members are doing. And it breaks down everything on the dashboard, and you can do exactly the same on the salon dashboard. So you've got your salon dashboard here. Everything applies. You'll be able to see your stars and flags. So we've got reports as well. So obviously this is very visual, but I want to break it down. I want to put it in a report. I want to visually see it. So you've got this print option here at the top. And we've got print team performance graphs. If I click on print, and I love this report, again, a very visual report. Very visual report. I can look at my service sales. Again, it'll break down each individual team member. You've got your minimum values, you've got your maximum on there. And this is for service sales. I can change it. What do I want to see for retail? How's my client retention? So you can change this report, and you can press the email button at the top. And if you want to email that to anybody, you can email it or you can print it off. We've also got
visual, Cara, isn't it? It's visual, so it's easier to digest and absorb the information.
We're very visual people. That's why we're in the industry. Yeah. We're very visual, and people want to see these graphs, and it's nice and simple to understand. And then if you want to get really down into the figures, we've got this one here that says print trend report. And this will print off a trend report, which I think I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can actually see it. Hopefully you can see that a little bit better. And this breaks down your team members. And you can see on the left-hand side here on Tallulah, it's showing you how many clients they've brought in, how many of those clients are new clients, how many of those had cuts. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the percentage of those particular clients. So it's breaking it all down. It's putting it on a nice little graph for you. It's great to do your team training and your team one-to-ones. Get your highlighter out. We all love a good highlighter. Highlight the great parts. Highlight some parts that you need to focus on as well for the next quarter. And this is all run on a date range up here. And you can see these are for the individual team members. Now, we do have another report, which will not be for the team members. And this one is here. So it's print scare sheet. And on the scare sheet, it's all of the team members. And it's showing you from each week. It's going to show you what you've brought in. So you can see here at the top, I've got weekends on the 14th of September. Then we've got the 7th of September. So on, so on. So it's showing you your trend. So what was we doing 6 weeks ago? Why have we gone down? Or why have we gone up? What are we doing differently? So this is a great report to go through, to try and get familiarized with this. It can look like a lot of information, but once you break it down, you can easily see these are the new clients here. So you can see that. It's very simple. Great report for you to look at. And one thing before I forget, just because I do like this one. So you've got your client retention. So I'm just going to put the toggle on for the client retention. And on the client retention, you will see that it's underlined on the dashboard. So I've got Shannon here. I can see her client retention is 71. If I hover over it, saying total clients 24, lost clients 7. If I click on the 71, it will look into the system and it will load up and it will give you a list of those clients who haven't come back to the salon. I love that. I think this is brilliant. I can see Maria's not come back in. What's happened to Maria? Is she okay? I'm going to give her a call. She used to be a real regular client. So I think this is a great way to look through and individually, and you can send them a text message. Hi, Mrs. Lloyd, how are you? I'm just looking at the system. You usually come in every 6 weeks. We've not seen you. Hope you're well. It's just a great way to individually see each team member.
And there's no reason why your team can't do this themselves.
No.
You know, when you've got a bit of a system or process and how you want this done, how often you want the retention to be looked at, how often you want to see those lost clients, who's to say that your team can't then, you know, be responsible for doing this and looking at those lost clients and reaching out to them. Maybe you create a template for them within the system to send out a certain SMS, so you know the grammar's correct, you know the spelling's correct in the text that's sent. But try not to put all of this on your shoulders as if it's another thing for you to do.
Not at all. And the team members get to see the dashboard, but they can see just themselves and not everybody else. So don't worry that they're not going to see everybody else's figures. And the last one, if I think I'm remembering everything, is how to set someone as a transient client. So transient client is someone who's just coming in for a wedding, or they have moved away but they come home to see the mum for the weekend, so they come in for a blow dry. You just need to click in here, transient client, click this toggle on, and then press save, and then that will take them out of your rebooking percentage.
All good?
Yep, perfect. Over to you.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Cara. And hopefully you've taken down lots of information there from the how-to that Cara's just shared with us. We have got our IQ Academy, which you can access when you log into SalonIQ. And it has all of the guides, all the best practices that we've created. Basically, everything we're giving you now is all on video and all in documentation. We're just giving you bite-sized snippets for this small presentation. Now, we do have on Wednesday, the 25th of September at 10 o'clock, another SalonIQ webinar that you must be on. Again, we have some really, really important information to share with you on the run up to Christmas. More information on how to fill your white space. We'll be looking into specific campaigns. So if you are needing to get more bookings, we will help you on the particular campaigns that you can be sending out to get those bookings in for Christmas. How to increase your average bill without booking in more clients. So we'll be going through that in a bit more detail. Boosting your retail sales. Now, this one, I don't think many are aware of. So very small, I'm not going to do the whole webinar now. If your clients are purchasing retail, they've purchased shampoo one, for example, from Paul Mitchell, love that shampoo. And you're setting that shampoo one to be replenished every 8 weeks. So you know that in 8 weeks' time, your client's going to need to buy that again. If Abby's bought that 8 weeks ago, you've set it in the system that it's going to run out in 8 weeks' time. An email or text will be sent out to Abby. Say, Abby, I think you might need some more shampoo. Would you like to buy it again? We're going to go through that in more detail. And then we've got priority access to our festive SMS campaign. So if you join us on the 25th of September at 10 o'clock, you'll be the first one to get access to our festive SMS campaign, which guarantees you an awful lot of bookings. We do it year on year. It gives fantastic results. Jenny will be giving more information and sharing that in our Facebook group and our inbox. Get it in your diaries now. IQ Pay, we're 18 months into IQ Pay. Have a look. What are your processing fees at the moment? Have you got integrated payments with SalonIQ? If you haven't, you can make your payment processing time a lot quicker with SalonIQ. So if your card terminal, so the card terminal in your salon that you used for your client to tap their card, insert or swipe their card to make a payment, you need to make that as quickly and smooth as possible while you're very, very busy. IQ Pay can do that for you. Abby is here on the call. We've got free payments audit. Scan that QR code now. Grab your phone out or your iPad. Scan that QR code, and it will give you the page that you need to reach out to us so we can do a free payments audit for you this week. And Abby's here ready to go with that. Now, finally, we have our next episode up of the Salon Business Collective with our lovely Phil from Salon Guru, and that's joined up Salon Marketing on Monday, the 7th of October at 10 o'clock. Now, Phil has a wealth, and his team have a wealth of knowledge and expertise in this area, from salon websites, SEO, social media, adverts and posting. He helps with recruitment, client emails and blogging too. So one not to miss. Make sure it's in your diaries. 7th of October at 10 o'clock. This has been recorded, so it will be shared with you very soon via email and our private Facebook group if you are on that as well. Thank you so much for joining. Cara, is there anything we need to go over?
I don't think so. I'm just checking the questions to make sure, but I think Abby and Jenny have been on to answering everyone, so that's great.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for joining. We hope you've taken at least one thing away from this session, and we'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.